This is the setup. This is the 12 star setup.
Yes,
Yeah, this is a 12 one. Yeah.
the last one.
If you move it a little bit higher, the picture, is it possible that we can see the total? No, don't show your back screen. We don't want to see your program.
Yeah, no, it's a
Yeah.
different place.
You see the same combination. This is the latest one. We saw this morning with Armin. The other one with a 5, this is the same. The effect on this is more powerful than before. There is a fan here on the bottom side. Armin, you better explain because you were there when the test was done.
Yes, I have one more picture with the newest setup if you like to show.
Please share it.
Okay. Here.
This is the platform. Getting ready for what we expect. We need this platform to learn, create the powers that is created. Can you go back on the previous picture, Arminia? What it is, you have a maglev system, which is set 6, and then it feeds into gravitational magnetical system. And when you walk in, let's say from here, which is easier, somewhere at this point, the fan stops. There is a fan. The end of this link here is connected to a fan. So when you cross, you share the field, you see the fan reducing the speed. And this shows presentation of a field because you don't do anything else. You just walk into empty space. But the charges transfer affects the speed of the rotation of a motor, which is magnetically based, and a current flow. So the next step is energizing the 18 bases on the platform, which is getting set. You have to understand the 18 reactors you've seen on the platform are slightly different internally than these. There had to be a modification. The Keshe Foundation team in Arizona, the past couple of days, has been building them, modifying them the way we think should be. And in the coming time, what we will see, it'll be this. In fact, what you will see, it's a dome between the reactors. It's not directly inside. It starts somewhere around here, externally to internal. Then internally here, you have another dome. The comfortable zone, because as the staff in Arizona are walking in the corridors, is in this side. Am I correct, Arman?
Yes.
So we're setting the structure. The first basis, when we showed the unit, which Marco took about a month to build, now we see it in a different dimension. The power in these balls was so high that they just literally blew themselves up. The wires start burning. Now we have a different structure. You have to understand how this works. What is happening, because of those of you who would start testing, what is happening, these things will start, oh, gotta go back. Okay. These things will start building fields. You have to leave them till the field, like 129, we started with 1.1, it went to 0.2, it went to 1 Tesla, it went to 5 Tesla. We waited overnight to go to another 1 Tesla up to 6. So the fields build up on both sides of the reactors. You have to understand, they are in the center, they exert the internal force, these exert the external force, the push and the balance will create the tangible physicality of their structure. This is what you need. You have no choice. This is what you need to guarantee a planetary condition. You dictate the condition. Those of you who work in the Chinese laboratories, I know you're heading for it. You're already started planning to do it. What is this one? I can't understand. Just ignore these things. They find any question they like. What happens? The magnetical gravitational fields in the background and the one in the center will influence and dictate the platform. Armajan, can you go back to the other picture with the platform, please?
Okay, 1 minute.
The problem why we moved, or we asked the thing to be moved, is these walls are interfering with production of the fields. Now, with the free platform in the center, we have much more freedom.
Here, Mr. Fisher.
Okay, thank you, Armand. It hasn't come up yet.
It's there. I'm sharing it.
Just wait, somebody most probably need to do something with this. Yeah, okay. What you will see on this platform is that they will put, I can't get it. It doesn't allow me. Maybe you can do it with the, in here, no, lower, yeah. Yeah. What is going to happen is they will be placed here and the others will be placed here. And in their term and condition, you will see what we call a zone. This zone has a physical the same below. But here, the magnetic gravitational field of the Earth will push this zone to be back up, will create the lift of the platform. It'll be very little, because now you have an interaction of the inertia and gravitational magnetic field from the systems. At this moment of time, even though you have the platform, even though you have the magnetic systems, you're still matter ions connected. So it's a combination of inertia and gravity. For those of you who haven't been long around, gravity is an attribute of the plasmatic magnetic gravitational field of the state of matter. Gravity, the way we call it, maggrav, is the attributes of the free plasma. But a composite structure like Earth has matter and the field from the center. So our gravity, what we call our gravity and atmosphere, is a composite. Here we'll have the same, because in the center of these units is copper, it's still matter state. So the field of the Earth will interact. So the next step is, what can we do? We built it, it's there, it'll levitate. It might go higher than levitation, depends how you adjust the current flow. Within the structures, you can lift yourself up and down, but you don't go very far. Because the totality has to be, the positioning has to be, there is a specific way to set this system up. I was explaining to John earlier on today in our communications with Armin. You cannot just put it there and do it. There's a specific way that you have to build this, to organize this, that it creates what is needed. This is the secret. This is the backbone of every development. So the next step for you is understanding where you're going to position your star formation. We know the scientists from different space agencies are lying. Try it. You'll understand the position of it. There is a specific way to structure it that the whole platform will fly. When it's inertia, you will see the rise of the platform. When you can dictate it in a specific way, then we'll cover the whole board. I estimate the height of this can be as much as 3 to 5 meters. The shape does not go flat like this. It will be mainly like this, because the field force from the gravitational field from here will flatten the push of the platform. When you go into the open space, it will be like this. You come down to about 1.5 to 2 meters, maybe 2.5 meters. The whole understanding is now, there it is. That's the fan I was talking about. That fan, when it's connected in the other room to the circle, you see it coming to near halt in fan configuration, and you hear it reducing the speed. So what you have, what you see, is the step development of the whole process. Now, the next step in development touches everything. If you understand this, you already have seen this. If you've been in the agriculture with Keshe Foundation, you've already seen the creation of this system where you put the seeds down or use aqua, what they call systems, and you thought you're feeding only the potatoes and you put a GANS on the top, but in fact you're changing the environment of the surrounding. This is what I explained in agricultural teaching yesterday. When you use a gas of CO2 on a land, you create a new dimension, what we call a greenhouse. A greenhouse without the material on it. You don't need any more plastic, you don't need any more glass greenhouses. Because if you understood the work of the GANs, the work of the coils and the stackers, it's all with the GANs which is used. It's the GANs which is particle plasma, and in the spacing itself, it creates its dome. This you saw the first time in China. When the Chinese, in the Chinese teaching of the Keshe Foundation, when you go to the very first times they came, they showed their agriculture, they showed the side where the Chinese leaves were grown in the winter and they were as good as new, and the side which was watered with the water, the all frost killed. Nobody understood that time. Now you understand. This is the dome which comes into operation. It's the field plasma which has become the distribution of the field. This is important because if you look in the growth of the agriculture, especially in Northern Europe, Billions are spent on greenhouses and heating them. The heating cost of agriculture is enormous. When you put a GANS in the environment, you change the environment. You don't just change the physicality of where it is. Tests are done by other cash foundations. Alex can tell you. Is Alex online from Nigeria?
Yes.
Alex, can you promote Alex, please?
Please promote it.
Pardon? Just a moment. Alex, if he's not in the bush, he'll be there to talk to us. He usually spends all his time in the bush. Pardon? Alex, are you there?
Yes, he's
You're really in the bush. Okay, Alex, I'm going to talk. You can correct it with writing because we can't hear you clearly. Good morning, Alex, but we can't hear you. It's very good. You got to fix your internet. It's not strong enough. I can hear you, but we can't hear you properly. It is very bad. Okay, Alex, I explain, then we can give a link, they can go and read it. Can I have my... They've done a test with Alex, and in this test, they have put GANSs and maggrav unit connections in a house. The temperature of the house is constant, doesn't matter what happens outside. They measured it. People in the house don't feel the cold. They achieve a constant temperature in the house. So one of the ways of keeping a constant normal temperature around 25, 25, 28 degrees is put maggrav system, put GAN system in the bottom floor and the top floor of the house and around the house. You'll find out the temperature stays constant. The same thing as when you spread the GANs. A number of people have reported this in past few days because Alex has done it, they all jumped on it, they're taking buckets of GANs in different places in the house, or they're putting different magravs on different floors, on the roof, on the ceiling, in the basement, and they're feeling the comfortable temperature. That confirms, in a way, that the GANs creates its environment. There it goes, your electricity bill for winter. You like 25, 26 degree comfortable, put some GANs or maggrav systems up and down around the house and test it and report it back to us. This is what they tell us they're doing. Oh yes, they're leaving the windows and doors open because it's too hot. So, you understand, with this technology, make a few bottles, make a few magravs, and give it to a building where all the old people live, and don't let a single old man or a woman to die of a cold because he can't pay the electricity bill. That's how easy it is, because you will understand it very soon. This is what the process of agriculture is coming in. As I said, everything is converging in. Agriculture, we see in the medicine, we see the energy. We can show a test which is getting done, nothing to do with the generation power, but the multiplication of power from different sides of the development of the Keshe Foundation group. So it is absolutely essential that we work across this planet as one nation, share it as rapidly as possible the way you are doing it, that we change the course of the government our way, then they're changing the course of our lives with the bombs and bullets and nuclear warheads. It's very easy. Make it, try it, give it, and you'll receive more to give, and you will understand the whole process. There are few people, few organizations who can set up this kind of setting. A couple of the Keshe Foundations in China. The Keshe Foundation labs, about 6, 7 of them, a couple of them can do this. You have to realize the Keshe Foundations in China have been given the autonomous right to sell products not for commercial use, but to sell that they can support their research and their work, and they are good at it. They're becoming good at it. Some of them doing it very well. And we saw the ones who were there for different reasons have already left, like Sanjan, and because they couldn't milk it, they become victims of their own misconduct. When Chinese security services tapped their voice, then we knew where they sit. There was not much room. Now they become victims, where they actually were the terrorists of the foundation in organizing things with the others. The Keshe Foundation around the world, Chinese government, development, Boeing, NASA, Russian Space Agency, the Iranian Space Agency, they're all working towards this. Every program is fully watched, analyzed. A lot of you don't understand. You hear some words or techniques, but they have the elites of their nation in every field sitting, analyzing what was said, how it can be utilized. This is the beauty with this. This is how it's going to change a lot of things. So there is a very interesting point with this. As I explained in the health teachings, if you manage, and as we saw with, if you can get it from John, you see this is the Keshe Foundation factory. This is all the magravine in these boxes. If you make the system and you make it thick enough, or in a way, or between the gap between this circle and this circle, where you feel comfortable to walk, as you enter with a disease, and now you sit between two magrav walls. Now you sit or drink different ganses. When you can dictate the composition, which is the next step after the solid magravs, into the gans structure of these systems, the same, which becomes the balls you have on the table, which Marco made, then you make the environment at the balance point. You walk in with a cancer, stay there for a short while, but every cell of the body of the man balances according to his DNA, his original RNA, collapse the field, walk out, no diseases. This is not the dream, this is the reality. This is what, in the next few weeks, medical section of the Keshe Foundation will deliver. Barriers, sections, where we control the magnetic field. Can I have a whiteboard, please? Where now, you remember the old story, Beam Me Up, Scotty? We all remember, we watched it. Arman John, you got to stop sharing.
Yeah, it should be ready there, Mr. Kesh.
Uh, can you get it? Yeah, but it's there. How do we get it? We can't get rid of this. Hello. No.
I am not sharing.
Okay, that's good. Thanks, Arvind. So, what are you going to get? You saw the 12 and 6 combination made the field you could walk in. Now, what about if you put 4 in, where you can stand in between? But be careful, please do not try this under no circumstances, because we don't know where you're going to beam you up to. What you understand is the plasma unit. If you can make it 4 base, 4 top, you are a Scotty ready to be beamed up. You make the strength of your system dynamic or static. You use the ganses of the balance field of the body of the man, the amino acid and the rest of it. You walk in with a cancer, you walk out with no cancer. And if you go back onto the left side, if you can understand and further push the limit of the strength of the plasma in the structure, I will tell you what's going to happen to you. Where would you like to be beamed to? We are on the verge of transportation by the simple pictures we have shown. These will all come into process in the next few weeks. Because when we work with governmental structure, we have different access, different structures, and we can run everything simultaneously. I made you one promise, and that is everything will be live. We don't allow superiority in knowledge to become another tool of abuse for human race. It's your foundation. You have to make sure you do it the right way. You've done all your childish groveling and fighting, being who, whatever, it's over. You can have everything you want. I'll teach you step by step to the next step. This is how it should be. So when you have the systems, you understand how to do it. I have to tell you, is a specific way to do this. When we done it, you can all watch it. We bring in man with a cancer, we hold him for a short while, we walk him out. Armanjan, your microphone is open. We walk out and no cancer. Less than 5 seconds, total standing 3 minutes. We are entering, as I said last week and the week before, changing the course of humanity. I don't do it. I show you. Now the systems are coming in. We know how to make more powerful systems. We know how to make the generator systems. We know how to make the lift systems. It depends on how you want to serve the humanity. The game has changed. And as has been said, the change will change. The world will change for man in October 2016. And we are just at the beginning of it. Today is one of the worst nightmares of humanity, 6th of October. If you are not that old enough, this day became the beginning of further atrocities of today. Yom Kippur War, 6-day war in Sinai Desert, gave the false power of strength to the nation of Israel, and the problem has not stopped since. Go back on the history. 6th of October, known as Yom Kippur Day. We will not allow these things to happen, because now when we share the knowledge, there is no young and there are no Kippurs. Everything is finished with. The Palestinians have the same knowledge as the Jews, the same as the Christians, the same as the Chinese and the rest. The man who was behind it was buried last Friday. Thanks God. The biggest terrorist who was a mastermind behind this, and all the atrocities have never stopped, Shimon Peres, was buried, and with it a lot of atrocities and the murders he carried out. And it's our job to make sure this does not happen again. It is important. It is very important to understand the share of the knowledge has to be equal. We see the Africans share it, we share it here, you share it from China. Philippine guys can't keep their mouths shut. They're so fast putting things out. Then we have the others. So now you've done the GANs, you need the coils, you made the cores, and now you have come to bringing all your knowledge taught in past 3 years and all the books which you downloaded freely, thanks to Dirk, to gather enough knowledge that the Africans have the same right as the Americans. The process is simple. Everything we say, everything you see here is in the patterns which was given to the governments and to you years ago. Deciphering it created doubts. Now I am deciphering it little by little, that everybody understands there is no race above the other. You have the base, you have the top. You have to understand the structure of this balls and wires, how they are wired. Marco spent a lifetime making this, and he's made such a beautiful system. If you could make a blueprint of this, you have everything which is on the board. Marco, if you're listening, you remember how you done it, make a blueprint of it and post it. Maybe we have to open the top layer and put the camera from the top on, that you can see it. The structure is very, very immaculate, it's very correct, it's adjustable. You can lift one platform, you can change one platform, you can concentrate the fields inside, you can extend the fields outside. It's very, very elaborate. It is taken the boy a long time to do it, but he's done such a gorgeous job. It's the way he used to do things. Perfection. Pardon? Yes, send this to Rick. We give you a close-up, then we put it on the screen, then I can explain it. If you are developing this in any of the laboratories in anywhere, understand the process, because it's no use doing it and then later on finding out you need more of or changing something. Rick, Caroline is sending you a link, a picture. If you can put that on the screen, share it with us. We go in more detail with it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a close-up of the plate, which is there, made by Marco. In so many ways, we have come to a point that everything we did start making sense. Everything we did has a meaning. Now, the total knowledge of 2 years of teaching is coming together. Yeah. Send that to him as well. So, what you see is the structure that is coming together. The nano coating, the gases are needed for the balls, the nano coating material needed for connection, the structure of the shape of the spheres and half spheres, a collection of the knowledge of 20 years of research sits here in this room. If you take the camera along, one by one, if you share the camera, I can show you what it is. This is how we got here in the knowledge. This is, some of you been here, you've seen this. This is the very first reactor built. Made, actually, you want me to go further? You cannot turn the camera? Pardon? You have to be able to turn on your axis. Loosen the bottom. You loosen this is what you need to loosen here. I think so. Now you can move up and down. And this way, yeah, okay. So this is this reactor, and there is a black one somewhere else, are the first reactors built, half circle. This is again done with the help of one of the friends of Dirk Lorentz's. Then it came in the next step of development. This is half circle, we could understand it. It came the development of building a half and a full steel reactors, done with the help of Olivier, another what I call team of the original team of Keshe Foundation. Then with it, it came the production of the Iranian government. The same thing, a full and a half. This is the original system from Tehran, thanks to the Iranian government. Then it came a full dynamic 3 cores. In this system, you see there are 3 motors, 3 cores rotating internally, developing more knowledge. Then these all were used in gaseous, except there is a reactor somewhere here in our archives that, pardon? Stop interrupting. That in it, I tested the first gas system. The power of the gas at that time became so clear to me that I didn't need the gas. I shelved it because now we had enough knowledge to step out. The power is so much that it actually bent a stainless steel core. I realized, I'm trying to find it for you. If you hold it there, if you can find it, it's here. This is the first reactor built. As you see, this is done at the same time as with these reactors. Because it's of the same. We built 3 sizes. And with this, actually, this came before with that. We injected all sorts of liquid in it to use it. And you see the pressure has bent the steel. This is the pressure of gas. We could not get this pressure with a gaseous plant. Then we went understanding this when the pressure came that we could not use radioactive material because this was full with radioactive material, which is only alpha source from the smoke detectors. It became dynamic. I could see the field forces. Then what we did with this, we developed the next stage, understanding the power of the GANs. We start developing the single cores. Now that we could not use radioactive materials. According to the restrictions, we became terrorists. And then we start seeing slowly the development of what you call a star formation. But if you look at it, there is no difference between this and this. Gaseous planets are always big because gas works in different dimensions. In these, we only applied gas. When we became to liquid plasma, like a sun, we became more powerful. This one is the unit which Armand made, and this is the original unit which we achieved 129 Tesla with 12 volts. And I said, it's impossible. But the only voltage we used was to run the motors. It had nothing to do with the structure. We start seeing the power of the gas internally and how it became to develop next after next stop. Then it was a condition to understand, to show the physical structure of the interaction of the plasmatic field. This brought us to coils. And we developed the next step of the coils. Because with this, we had security of fields control. We could dictate how we want the fields, where we want the fields, the way we want the fields. In this process has taken me nearly 50 years. And in less than 50 months, more or less, we have transferred the whole knowledge into mankind. So it's for you to go to the next step. It's for you, the only way human race will go to the next step is if the mankind accepts, now that we have all the knowledge, we become peaceful. We have food, we can have medicine, we can have whatever we like. So the condition is forced, and we are there. We are at 11:55 before 12 o'clock to get mankind into universal community. The next 5 minutes is very crucial. Is make or break how, as a race, we share knowledge to overcome the shortcomings of the others, or we extend and we wait till the others destroy whatever is ours. I have made this very, very clear yesterday and in other teachings. This has to go in there, Giovanni. This is from that collection. It has to go in the bottom. I'm going to show you something to understand how painful things are. This is the base. Some of you have seen it. This is the base of what was on top of it. Literally this. We took into Tehran, and it's the first base which flew. But I got so excited, such a thing instantly taking off, that I sat on it, I forced it to hold it, and I managed to crack it. 6 o'clock at night, I called the office of the President Ahmadinejad. I said, I've blown it, but it flies. I want a good one. You have to understand, when Olivia and I went to produce these cores, from the time we designed it till we got it manufactured till we got it core, took us about 18 months. For Armand and others and the rest of us to manufacture take weeks. Thanks to the Office of the Iranian President, I received fully tested, fully made reactors with the motors on my desk. I asked for it on a Monday night. 7 days later, on the table, tested. The commitment of the nation is to the peace. The rest of it, we have developed together, and that's what is gelling us. This is what gels the Keshe Foundation supporters, black, white, Chinese, Indians, whatever color and name you want to put on it, we all have chipped in. Africans brought part of the medicine. Chinese brought part of other development. With the Americans, we've seen the new structure. Europeans have participated in development of the different aspects of it, so it belongs to all of the Keshe Foundation family. Nobody can claim anything that I've done it is mine. I am the sharer of the knowledge. You are the developer of the knowledge. None of you ever came building these pieces on your own in past 2,000 years. Now that is shared the knowledge, instantaneously you develop it. We have two choices. Let us use the technology to share, and this will be done. Or let us play the game as it's done, who's right, who's wrong, and let those who want to abuse to bring this planet to a smithery. And we are getting to that point. So today's teaching brings the whole mankind, the whole operation, those who helped with the books, those who helped with the translation, those who made the course, those who came out with how to use the ganses for food, how we use it for medicine, doctors across the planet, agriculturists from Australia coming out to show how the water can be used. We have brought it together. It's one family, it's one nation. We share without borders, and this has put fear on the back of those who control the knowledge and control humanity. We still have to feed, we still have to go to work, we still have to see that there is a clothes on our back and a food on the table for our family. To change billions of years of work, and especially the misconduct of past 6,000, 10,000 years, will not happen with a fling, because then another fling bring it back to worse or back to what it was. We have to, as totality, understand the change, the application of the change, the joys of what it brings, and no fear of what we leave behind. None of you would have had any ability to make any of these things if somebody wouldn't develop the oil and the plastic, somebody wouldn't develop the way to refine the copper, somebody wouldn't develop how to make the salt from the sea. So where we are as one nation, we are accumulating the totality of knowledge of man over thousands of years. We are the children of the planet. It is our responsibility. To have peace needs silence and contemplation. Rick, can you share the pictures that we can add to the knowledge?
The pictures from Caroline?
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay.
There's another one. Can you have the other one, please?
Okay.
You see, when you make, for those of you who will, um, start making the 12 pieces or the coils or these things, you see we have placed the ring to consider. In that ring is nano-coated, inside it is a GaNs. It's a GaNs of combination of what is we have, calcium, whatever. The same with the other one. So we have limited the field forces to human race. You see, these are the 12 and 6 balls. Each ball has the probability of the connection to the next one from north to south. It has, if you look, the line to feed into the maglev system to add to allow other forces. It has a coil ring, 2 of them you see, that you can increase or decrease the field forces from point of reference, that how many of these cores will come into operation, be it on the center ring or outer ring. You have possibility that you can connect the internal central line or magnitudinal line. You see these lines which has gone through. You have the possibility to join one magnetical directly to the gravitation. If you look at the structure, is, I have to clean it, but you can see it. Oh, it's getting worse. I cannot do. Can you press that one with your mouse arrow, please? You have to see something which is important here. No, I need this one. I want to go to red. If you look, the structure is set all the time, the star formation. This is what I explained to John. How you set it up is important. The ethos of star formation has to be kept, because how you change this, you can turn your system, when you bring these systems into operation, you lift, you tilt, but the structure stays the same. When you go into plasmatic control, not the matter control, this is a matter nano-coated on top, transferring energy through the GaNs. It's so powerful that they literally blow each other up till you can control it. We've seen this blowing up with other tests in different parts of the research and development in past few days, because the energy of the plasma is huge. In tests, in part of the research, is so much that we have no control over. We are dumping it into a sea salt containers. We cannot control it. We are in the process, and we see generators of 100, possibility 200 kilowatts. Because at the moment, whatever they tried is blown up, because the energy is huge. We've seen production of different systems. You have to understand the totality. Those scientists in the background from the governments who sit behind watching, calling, let's collaborate, because if we do it, we know more, you will have what we call a wipeout. If, now that we start sharing the technology so openly, if any government, any nation, any individual tries to take advantage in military or the other ways, don't forget, you still haven't even entered the nursery of the science of the universe. And I'm a professor at it. Know how to wipe it out. So my call goes on those who understand. Instead of putting 40 million people in the basement out of the fear of nuclear attack by the others, I'm putting an army of 100 million on move, ready for a war. And those who are gimmicking earthquakes to start on the back of the false earthquake, the way they did with 9/11 to start the wars, because they already ordered millions of guns to different factories to build. You stop or we deliver. And now, today I chose especially in this way, and the knowledge was done this way to make sure to understand we are and we can deliver in one shot. We is not me, we is you as Keshe Foundation. You got to remember, those orange balls are not even loaded yet. You see the platform of the framework, you see the same platform in Arizona. It is not that the knowledge hasn't been available. I made the knowledge so in front of you that you were blind to see it. And that was the best way to do. Understand when you set up your systems in MagRap system, in cores, in coils, you have to have the ability of changing every single connection, not by wires, but through the fields. The mastery comes when you don't connect from one of these balls to the other, but you create a condition in the other balls that this ball only feeds this one. And you have a long way to go to learn this yet. You put a sick person on the top of these tables. If you create a field, it's a chicken chamber. You put the egg in, you get the chicken out. It's an incubation of death of the disease which man has been afraid of. You need these. It's not just because you have it here, because in the space, when you absorb fields from the universe, locked to your cells, the viruses grow in your body in seconds. Planet Earth is too far to come for help. And secondly, get the FDA license. A lot of you believe in UFOs, a lot of you believe in aliens, and they are not in touch with us. They carry gravitational magnetic field forces that to you is a virus which can kill you in seconds. The way it has chosen is for the safety of the man, not for any other purpose. And secondly, those who don't carry that kind of thing, they see the violence, which doesn't fit into the structure of the universe. So in next few weeks, we will see new medical system, which is the combination of the totality of the knowledge you have gained. You see here, you have the coils, here you have the balls, here you have the GANs in all of them, here you have the dynamism of the star formation, even there is another one underneath this. And all you need to do, shift this in here. Shift this one here. Shift that one here. Shift that one here. You have your flying machine. Are you ready to fly? Giovanni says, I take the helmet. The helmet of a space is very thick and invisible. Any questions? And please keep it to what is taught today. Any relevant question, we have no answer. If you are in the process to use the technology for peaceful application to change the course, we are here. You will understand in the next few weeks why I start changing teaching to completion, and then you say, we should have known. Most of you who know me well, you know why I do this and the way I do things. The bigger plan, the bigger structure is world peace, and I know how to force it, and we are about to force it. But I need many of you to make as many of these things that I don't call upon help from you, but because you have a system, I lock into your system, you become part of the totality. We have literally infiltrated every country, every nation, every race with the MAGRAP systems and the coils. And you were all happy to have a coil system, energy system. I was setting it up for a peace system. There is not a place on this planet which there is not a MAGRAP system in it. So you have already walked into the trap. Let me explain to you. Give me a whiteboard. I'll explain something very interesting. I explained this a few days ago, and I'll explain this before for those of you who don't understand. To understand a little bit more, I tell you something. I still don't think there'll be another president. Obama will be the next president of the United States for a third term. I'll explain to you why I think. I hope it doesn't happen, but when it happens, it's how did he know? He planned it. The same thing is going to be an earthquake. They say, because he wished this happen. If my wish is so strong that it creates an earthquake, my wish is to change the man to a peaceful man. Let's see if we can do it. Planet Earth. On different parts of this planet, we have seen pyramids built about the same time. The pyramids are masquerade. They are just a facade. Inside all these pyramids, there is a structural gravitational magnetic field point where, in fact, if you come from any structure, you don't come and build a new one every year. Every time you come, it's been built, it's been operating. They're on the sea, above the sea, and they connect the whole planet. Any visitor from a space, which you call them aliens, they don't need your food. These pyramids, in their structure, transmit fields across the planet. Anywhere on this planet, you pick up. Now you understand how come you got pyramids everywhere at the same time, built about the same time. It's built by the instruction, by help of us, for the human race, to elevate the man, but they've used it, but the structure is still there, and strange enough, none of them has gone flat, because the field strength inside is holding the structure. Now you know why the pyramids of Egypt don't collapse. So, what the man does, he looks at the structure. When you go from a space, you get all the fields you need, and you're aware of what's happening across the planet. This is what you will do when you have the knowledge in the space. The mesh, the roads, the positions, all been mapped and done throughout the universe. These are what they are. You can demolish the